Hey guys, before we begin, cue Indigo Saint.
Let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Blackrue Investing. Let's go.
Who's this producer? Best believe I was Blackrue Investing. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifesting, so we binge on that Blackrue Investing. Best believe I was Blackrue Investing. Got course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. So thank God for that Blackrue Investing. Best believe I was Blackrue Investing.
My man Indigo. Let's go, guys. Today we're gonna talk eCash. Is this your first time here? You can catch me on Benzinga. You can catch me on the Gentleman of Crypto YouTube. Right below in the description, we'll tell you the times that I'll be on there. We're going to be talking eCash today, and I very much encourage you guys to stick around for the entire episode. I'm a little bit too far from my mic. An entire episode because there's so much that needs to be said here. So you really have to hear it all. Okay, so let's get into it. Now,
What? Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you.
Amari Sachet, the freaking creator of eCash, he also created Bitcoin Cash. And due to different types of disputes, he decided to come over and start his own eCash separate away from Bitcoin Cash. Okay. Um, and I'm gonna tell you guys all about eCash. I feel like I'm okay enough now to like at least give you guys a little bit of it. But if you guys feel like I'm missing something, please tell me in the comments, and I'll make a follow up video just to clue everybody in because I did a ton of research. But if you've been following eCash for like a very long time, chances are you probably know something that I missed, or something that'll be good for the people to hear. So please share that in the comments, and I'll make sure I put up an updated video and address that and let you know what I think about it. Okay, so again, watch the whole video here, and there's some things we might not even be able to get into, which is why, guys, you guys have to check me out on Rokfin. We'll come over here and look at the channel. I think one of these days we're gonna have a live on Rokfin because there are just some things I can't talk about on YouTube because of censoring. Um, so one of these days we're gonna have a live on Rokfin. You guys, let me know. I'm here for you guys. I'm here for the people. Let me know in the comments what day you guys would like to have a live on Rokfin, where it's kind of uncensored and we can really talk about some things. But here, let's get into eCash. I'm gonna start with the bad, quote unquote, bad first, and then I'm gonna move into the good. Okay. So understand that. Understand that's where we're going here. So beginning with the bad. Okay. So and honestly, I'm going to just start with the bad, and I'm not even going to say anything about the good until we're done with this bad. So let me call out this creator. This is Crypto with James. Um, some of his concerns about eCash are my concerns about eCash. And I want to tell you guys, I want to like put these concerns out here, have these concerns out here, and then you guys can know the concerns, and then we're gonna say kind of why the concerns, not that they don't matter, but there's something a little bit deeper that we have to go into when we consider these concerns, um, which I'm gonna try to get into here on YouTube, but I may not be able to fully get into. But um, I'm crafty with my words, so we'll see how good that goes. But here's James, and he's gonna mention some concerns I have with the eCash. And remember here too, he's going to bring up a coin called Nano that is also a payment solution. So listen a little bit to what he says, and then I'll cut it off and tell you what I think of his comments.
This is massively ambitious, but you're right now. I've spoken about this previously, right? Because like one I was really bullish on a couple of years ago was Nano, and to be fair, I was bullish on it in 2017. Like Nano did really well for me in 2017, like crazy highs during the bull cycle. But the problem is, we have PayPal, we have Visa, we have MasterCard, we have contactless payment solutions, we have all these things in place. And until the mass majority of people are looking at payment solutions, until the mass majority of people are getting into crypto, I don't see a future for payment solutions, because fundamentally right now, any businesses, any merchants that want to get into crypto, and there are a lot, take USDT, take USDC, take BUSD, take a stable coin, one that you can work under a solid presumption because they're backed by something. You know, certainly USDC and USDT they're backed by some legitimate money. Is cool. I'll take payment in USDC because I know that I'm getting the exact value of what I should be for my goods. But if I take eCash...
Okay, so that's my concern with eCash, is that we have these payment solutions already. Now, don't misunderstand. There's a good to this. So if you're an eCash person, or if you're wanting to hear more like about eCash, don't just stop on this bad, because there's some more that I have to say about this. Okay, but let's keep going. So, and this is my thing with payment solutions. There's a whole bunch of them. There's Alchemy Pay. There's Telcoin, which I have tons of videos on. Now there's eCash, right? We have PayPal. We have a lot of easy solutions here in America for payment solutions. However, what James is failing to take into account here, and if you guys come over here to my channel, darkhorsewatcher.com, you'll see my channel, and we get into CBDCs. Now, the point you got to understand here, and why these payment solutions are here, and let's include we can include Bitcoin on this as well, because with the Lightning Network, but I'll have more to say about that as well. Bitcoin and the Lightning Network allow Bitcoin to be an easy type of payment solution, right? But with the advent of CBDCs, I've talked about CBDCs in tons of videos over here, which reminds me I'm probably going to have to get a CBDC playlist. I'll make sure I get that kind of after the video here. So it'll probably be up by time you guys see the video. So you'll just come down here and you'll see a CBDC playlist. So with the advent of CBDCs, what James is not understanding here is I know you guys know that PayPal, okay, so we got the Russian and Ukraine war. And like I said, and I've said it many times before, I think the people are the ones who lose out on this. The Russian people and the Ukrainian people, like, regardless of how you feel this way or that way about the war, and that's even a whole different topic. Many times it's the people who are losing out on this, not the governments. I know one Russian developer who was developing for a certain NFT project I was I owned. They said he had to like leave the country because he didn't have access to internet. Um, so you know, there's and you see the pictures of things in Ukraine, like, and you wonder if it's like, there's pictures of stuff happening in Ukraine, and people are suffering for that. Um, and there's that opens a whole nother can of worms. But just understand, my sentiment on that is people are suffering. Okay, I don't like people suffering. Both people are suffering, Ukrainians and Russians. Like, okay, so but okay, so we got that whole situation, right? MetaMask stopped crypto payments to Russia. They just stopped them. They stopped bank transactions to Russia. So, what some people might say about what I'm talking about, like how we need something like eCash, we need something like Bitcoin and the Lightning Network. We need those, even though we have PayPal and all of that. Why do we need them? Because things like what happened in Russia is a thing. Things like what happened in Canada, where, truckers were denied crypto funds, their bank accounts were shut down. But guess what? What still exists? What do you still have the option to use? Cash. Cash still exists. However, you know how most things are really electronic. I don't know about you guys. I visit Germany sometimes for my job, and when I go over there, a lot of people over there, and where I go to Nuremberg, which just happens to be um, like the capital, the capital city that the Germans used in World War II. But I go over there. It's a lot more diverse now, of course, right? But so it's way more diverse now. But when I go over there, most people transact in cash. I can't even use my company credit card. Most things over there are still done in cash. Here in America, we're the only ones that really kind of like electronically pay everything. But the fact that cash exists says that they can't just turn off money on us, right? So in comes CBDCs, and if regular paper cash goes away, and we only have CBDCs, situations like Canada, situations like Russia now mean, okay, someone with the press of a button can turn off cash on you, period. And now, excuse me, all you have is the goods that you have to trade or a skill that you have to trade. So that's something that we as a country, as a people, all of us, we the non-elite people, all of us, non-elites, have to worry about. So, so that's why I say there is a need for things like eCash, um, because what I just told you, these are things are facts. These things aren't, fake news. There were bank accounts just shut down, turned off. There were crypto things that were just turned off. And, of course, some people like Binance did not turn their stuff off. Some people like, if you use privacy tokens, those weren't turned off. Um, so eCash would be one of these other solutions that you could use besides cash. Um, and it goes again into something that James did mention. Okay, eCash has a certain value right now, right? But is it like what you would call it? Like these stable coins are actually quote unquote backed by something, but Bitcoin is a store of value, and you can use it. But would you necessarily want to spend your Bitcoin, right? Would you really want to spend your Bitcoin? the Lightning Network, you can use the Bitcoin, but Bitcoin, I believe, because of its scarcity, um, because of there's only like 21 million of them. It'll probably be less because people lose them, people lose their passwords, stuff like that. So really, you probably would not want to use Bitcoin. You probably want to save it and really just save it in pop solutions like eCash. Now, I'm gonna bring you guys up here to a couple different interviews that um, Amari Sachet did. A couple different interviews that Amari did. So there's this one with Paul Barron. I like Paul Barron's stuff a lot. He just really kind of gives the facts. He doesn't try to like shield to you. He does have commercials or whatever, but he doesn't pull a big boy on you and like get private tokens, and he now has the private tokens, and then he shields to you, and then he dumps on you. He doesn't do that stuff. Okay, so there's this one. Okay, we just did the James one. There's this one. This one goes deep into Avalanche, and that reminds me of something. I have to uh, change something. I have to say something um, that I misunderstood. This Avalanche here. This Avalanche is their consensus program. They are not teaming with Avalanche. They are. This is the name of the consensus protocol that they're using. So don't confuse it with the Avalanche uh, blockchain. They're not teaming with the Avalanche blockchain. They're using. They're making a consensus protocol and they're calling it Avalanche. So um, now where I got a little confused was he says on the end here, on the end of his Paul Barron interview here, that's why he's using Avalanche, because Paul Barron references Avalanche, AVAX, and Avalanche. But I think based off of Amari's answer here, what he's really saying is he's using the type of consensus protocol that Avalanche AVAX uses. Okay, so we're gonna listen to this right quick.
Yeah, and I think just the consensus protocols that we've seen on Avalanche and just some of the companies that have really, and projects that have kind of evolved into utilizing the consensus protocol, I think that's going to be a big push in the right direction. Avalanche we've had John Wu on here a couple of times. Just the amount of ecosystem involvement that they've done has been pretty dynamic for sure in terms of the future where that protocol is going. So exciting stuff ahead.
That protocol is very cool. This is why we're using it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So he says that protocol is very cool. That's why we're using it as well. So that's why they're using the Avalanche protocol, the protocol that Avalanche uses. Okay, let's clarify that. So they're using the same type of consensus protocol that Avalanche uses. Okay, so that's one thing we got to clear up right away. Then the next here. Okay, I say we're not going to listen to this one. You guys definitely come over here and check it out, especially if you're a coder. I think this guy's name is Cyprian, and I think he's a developer. He's developing on eCash. So if you go down here, there's some comments where a Bitcoin Cash guy gets into an argument with Cyprian, and really, the Bitcoin Cash guy is kind of being a dick. He says, Siberian mate, you bet your whole decision about Bitcoin on a fork based on Amari's ideas. And here you are now, more than a year later, explaining you didn't understand the ideas thoroughly yourself. Therefore, based on you chose based on your feels and friendships, not based on the merits of the arguments. This guy is a dick. whether they were stronger or weren't, I'm a big fan of Amari. But this is kind of L for you on this one. Dick move here. Um, like, regardless of what you guys think about Bitcoin Cash, I don't know. I haven't looked into Bitcoin Cash, but this guy's the dick for saying this the way he did say it. And you can come and like listen to this all that you want. They get down to some deeper things that we're not gonna cover, like the reason why Amari split from Bitcoin Cash, and this is like we're not even gonna cover that. We're not gonna cover it, but they go into deep, deep talks on why Bitcoin Cash is moving to this protocol, this Avalanche protocol, not Avalanche, the blockchain, um, and why this is going to be better than the um, original Bitcoin protocol that Satoshi created. So they get into some things, and basically he says that they're going to keep the original one that Satoshi created, but they're going to add this Avalanche protocol consensus to it because it's going to help make it faster. Now, if y'all want to get into the weeds of that, because it takes real kind of, excuse me, sorry about that. It's going to take real types of technical knowledge to get into it. So I'm not going to touch this right now. Maybe one day we'll touch it. But this is the one I really, 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 really want you guys to listen to, because Amari's talking to this guy Tobias Ruck, who's going to be working with him on this. He's talking about working with him on eCash, and Tobias has his own projects as well. But here we have. So they're talking about the CBDC paper released by the Fed, and really, they call it an enslavement plan, and it goes into things that we were just talking about. We were just talking about what happened in Russia, what happened in Canada. If we are now off of cash and there's no more paper cash, you can no longer use paper cash, and now only CBDCs exist, then now, like this, you can be cut off from cash. You can be cut off from it. And now it's only what you can trade and only what you can barter with. But listen to them talk about it a little bit. This is only going to be about like 2 or 3 minutes. Let's listen. And I think I have it on like 1.5 times speed, so it won't be that long to listen to.
Like building cool stuff is important, but this is the future of financial freedom. And anyone that is liberty-minded and think about central banks and whatnots need to realize that the fancy, colorful stuff that we have right now in crypto, they don't scale. And because they don't scale, at scale the way you use.
I'm gonna put on the captions because Amari's, I believe it's French accent here. It's a little, it might be a little bit difficult for some people to understand, but we'll put it on here. I'm sure sometimes my Detroit accent is difficult to understand. I think I put captions on my videos too, but here we go.
Them is through custodial or other third-party, other intermediaries. That is what is happening.
Like PayPal, like Coinbase, right? That's the
exactly.
It already happened. That's the norm, right?
That's the norm for many of those systems, and as a result, they have the same problem. Like they're gonna have the same problem as the old system because the problem is the intermediaries. The problem is that we don't have digital cash.
Yep.
Right? We have physical cash, but it's going away. So what are we gonna use? It's exceedingly important because once one party can monitor all the transactions, one party can exclude people completely from the economy.
So, you hear what he said there? So, once one party can monitor all the transactions, they could choose to exclude people from the economy. And that's not fake news because it's already happened. The Russia thing, the trucker thing in Canada. Not fake news, already happened. So, let's go on.
Right? With a few computer keystrokes, your life is over. You have nothing, and you can have nothing, and you cannot transact with anyone.
And they're already doing that, right? In a small scale. And this will just stamp it up.
Yeah, it's like what happened with GoFundMe for the Freedom Convoy, right? Except it's the money itself, right? It's not.
So, the Freedom Convoy is what he's talking about, what happened in Canada.
Not like those people, they don't have the GoFundMe
like when you have a
account
bill,
anymore.
right? Like $100 bill.
They don't have,
you want to
they
hand
don't
it
have
over.
dollars anymore. They don't have access
So like
to
imagine
dollars.
the equivalent would be like you have a $100 bill and you want to hand it over to someone, but there's like a force field that like burns it or like puts it back into.
So he's saying it's not like what happened to them because they still at least have cash. But if it happened with in the CBDC world, you're just kind of done. It's just what you have, what you can trade, and like your own like personal skills.
Your pocket or whatever. That's like the equivalent of this one.
Yeah, exactly. So we got to work on this. We got to work on this because we want to have an alternative. We cannot be fighting the thing. Like if you fight the thing and you have no alternative, you do nothing. You just complain about the Federal Reserve all day long on Twitter. That's all you do. But the Federal Reserve is going to do
And
what
the
the Federal
Fed.
Reserve does.
I mean, of course, at the Fed.
Right.
NFTs is not how you
Right.
at the Fed.
So basically, I love what he's saying here. He's like, he seems like a lot more relaxed in this interview. He's like, okay, you got to have an alternative because other than that, what are you going to do? Just complain on Twitter about the Federal Reserve? And the Federal Reserve is going to do what the Federal Reserve is going to do. Right? Right? So, I like the guy and I like that he's offering an alternative. And Bitcoin and Lightning Cash, you could use that, the Lightning Network. You could use Bitcoin and the Lightning Network, but really, you probably want to save your Bitcoin. So, eCash seems to me to be a good alternative. But let's hear this out, and then we'll conclude.
No, the way you end anything, be it the Fed or anything else, is by building something better, right? And we can, because that technology, it's open, it's been in the open for many years, it's been proposed for many years. But now we need to realize, like, this is how you scale a blockchain, and they are doing it. And now we need to do it.
All right. So our third attempt at ending this.
So, and he said how you beat the Fed is building something better. And I think his whole view on it is, okay, you're going to use eCash because it's better, it's faster. It's faster than Bitcoin and a Lightning Network. So that's why you would use eCash. And he also says, like, you know, some flashy marketing people might have flashy marketing things, but since my thing's faster, you'll probably use my thing. So I agree with him about having an alternative. And I think that with the Lightning Network and Bitcoin, you probably wouldn't want to trade your Bitcoin. You probably wouldn't want to do that. Especially at the price Bitcoin is now, and knowing the next halving, it'll probably be way over. It will be way over what it is now. So at the end of the day, you probably want to use things like eCash. You probably want to use things like something that's not so much of an appreciating asset. But you would want to have some cash. You would want to have some crypto on hand in case CBDCs now means like, okay, we're now going to take your money if you say anything we don't like. And guys, the truckers and Russia shows that that's a real possibility. So that's something we may very, very much want to prepare for. I know I talked WEF on here and World Economic Forum, and really, I seriously play both sides of the angle. I really do. And there's a reason for that. One side will probably win. but besides a side winning, I'll have money on both sides. So it's like, okay, either way, I'm prepared, right? Um, that's kind of where I am with that. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you don't over leverage yourselves on either side. Um, so yeah, y'all. I think eCash. I displayed all the different problems in the first part, and I talked about the problem that it's solving, and it's a very realistic problem that it's solving. So, what do you guys think? I think I am going to actually buy some eCash. I like Amari. I like what he's seeing. I like what he's doing here with eCash. And I like that he's thinking about what would happen if the Fed did, or if the WEF did this, if they did CBDCs. And if you look at my past videos, I've shown you the CBDCs are not really like, it's not that far away. It's not 5 or 10 years away. They're testing that junk right now. Maybe 1, maybe 2 years. So we can get ourselves prepared. I'll probably do an accompanying video on this, on Rokfin, and like ways to prepare, right? But I like what Amari's doing here. I like what he's doing here. What do you guys think? What do you think about what we've talked about as far as the Fed and the CBDCs and the World Economic Forum? What do you guys think about what James said about, okay, I'd rather just use Cash App or PayPal or whatever, right? What do you think about what Amari said, about the Fed like possibly using CBDCs and shutting us out of money if we don't do something like they don't like the truckers or like Russia, right? So let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Have a good one, guys. Peace. Oh, and check out some of my past videos right here. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one. Peace.